What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the All Things Considered Disc Golf podcast, where we consider all things disc golf. I'm your host, Jacob, joined as always by Cameron. Cameron, tell the people what we're going to be talking about this week.
Disc golf is back,
Disc golf's
baby.
back.
It
It's
is
back.
back. And I'm not going to lie. If you watch this tournament, this is exactly how, if I was the head of the Disc Golf Pro Tour, this is exactly how FPO and MPO side, I would want this event to have ended. Fireworks kind of both sides.
For different reasons.
For different reasons, for sure. But if this was your, I wanted to say this, if this was your first tournament ever watching like professional disc golf, you were very spoiled. They're not all this exciting, again, on both sides, but definitely a great way to start. We're going to go ahead and we'll get into FPO first. FPO was arguably more exciting for a different reason. We had a three-way playoff that took multiple holes. No. Ella Hansen taking it down officially, though. She was in that playoff with Holland Hanley and Evelina Salonen. Pretty awesome. One, you don't see playoffs a whole lot anyways, or at least probably not as much as like maybe a viewer would like to, because that is pretty fun to see that kind of stuff. But especially a three-way tie. But it looks like Ella shot a 4-down final round to get up in there. I think she was on lead card, but 4-down final. Holland shot 1 down. Evelina shot +1. So all she does is shoot even par for the round. And no, that's the playoff. That was the 2-hole playoff. Interesting. Okay, that's cool that they have that on PDJI. So Ella actually shot 5 down. Evelina 4 down. Holland 3 down. So basically, it looks like Holland was leading, then Evelina and Ella were the 1, 2, 3, just flipped, and they all tied. So that's actually pretty interesting. But I didn't get to watch it, however, which is a little unfortunate. I'll probably watch it on Jomez tomorrow. But yeah, you love to see stuff like that. What do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I actually was looking. I'm on Statmando right now. I was trying to look and see how many Pro Tour events Ella Hansen has won.
She won last year, I believe.
I think she did. It's unclear because on Statmando, I can't tell if this is like overall wins or just like.
Yeah, no, I got you here. I'm just going to go PDGA.
Yeah. Because on Statmando, it says she has 3 wins in the last 12 months. But I don't know if that's like just on the Pro Tour or if that's like just in.
Yeah, I don't know, because she won in, what's it called? In New Zealand. So that they could be accounting for that as well. She won OTB last year, and that looks like it was it.
Okay, so she's a Pro Tour winner.
She is, yes. This was not her first, which is pretty crazy that she only has, I think that's her only Pro Tour win. Looks like she won a Silver Series in 2023, but her only Pro Tour win outside of obviously it ending today. So
yeah, she's been there a lot.
Great start. Again, I say this a lot. You can't win them all if you don't win the first one.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Granted, this is a talking point, especially for the start of the season. Kristen Tatar, not in attendance. Do we think, I feel like I know your answer, but do we think that actually changes anything if she's here?
Yeah, well, I'll just tell the people. Cameron and I were on the phone 6 hours ago, like right after FPO was ending. So maybe about 5 hours ago, right as FPO was ending. And I did not pay as much attention to FPO for this particular tournament, just happened to be that way. And yeah, Cameron was like, oh, Ella Hansen took it down in a 3-way playoff. And I was like, oh, was Kristen in the playoff? And he said, no. And I was like, oh, was she there? And he was like, no, she wasn't. She's not coming up to Waco. And my response was, oh, okay, so invalid.
Which partially, yes, I would agree with you, because she, like, Kristen is definitely like just this mega outlier, but the field is stacked. I mean, it's definitely no like. Although I will say too, with the Kristen thing, if we're gonna go there, it does. Well, where's Missy Gannon at? Actually, now that I'm thinking,
that's so fair.
Tied 15th. Okay,
that's not good.
Not her best work.
Dylan Scoggins even. Paige Pierce was 11th.
Yeah. Shout out. We'll just go ahead and move down the leaderboards there. Kat Murch finished in 4th. She was just 2 strokes off the lead, and Macy Valadiaz, which is good for her. I don't know if you remember.
Very good for her.
The off season, I think she signed back with Dynamic, correct?
I think so.
Dynamic last year let her go because, and I don't think they could have like explicitly say this, but Macy Valadiaz.
It just so happened that
that she got pregnant.
Yeah.
And so she wasn't going to be able to tour as much. So they kind of like were like, and it almost outside looking in again. I have no idea what it all looked like, but it definitely looked like she was pushed out a little bit. But went and signed back and finished 5th place in the first tournament back. So definitely good on her. Silva 6th, Eliezra tied 6th. And that's what's crazy. This, like, I feel like there's just a huge skill gap in FPO now that I'm looking at scores. Because you definitely see like the regulars, the heavy hitters are at 13, 11, 10 down. But Macy Valadiaz, 10 down at 5th. 6th place is Silva at 1 down.
Yeah.
And there's just a huge gap.
These big drops.
There's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 in the FPO that finished under par.
And that's why
out of 44 people.
I love to see a 3-way playoff in FPO because I feel like in FPO, most commonly, it's not one player running away with a tournament and like taking the win. It's like someone just completely blows up and loses it.
Sure.
There's not normally, I feel like a shot for shot competition on the FPO side. Normally one player can stick to their game plan and kind of just be okay. And they'll win because they don't have any huge blowups. Whereas, like most of the time on the MPO side, it's like you have to be great and like make no mistakes and be great to really compete. And even then, there's like multiple people that are doing the same thing as you. But it's nice to see on the FPO side, see them actually like, yeah, there's just competition in such a unique way.
It definitely, yeah. And it's interesting. I don't want to say this was Holland's to lose. But evidently she was winning, or she was the leader for after all rounds, except obviously this last one. But I don't know. Discraft certainly making a statement this season, especially like I imagine Paige had a year to recover. Holland's obviously good. Missy's obviously good. You got to like the odds going through the rest of the season. Obviously, again, Kristen, outlier for sure. But even Missy's definitely the closest competition. But I don't know. I think it's tough, and especially once we get to the MPO, if you haven't watched any coverage yet, you'll understand why I'm saying Discraft is just kind of running the show here. But I don't know. It's one of those things. They're becoming the New England Patriots, Tom Brady era, in my opinion.
We're talking about Discraft?
Yes.
Yeah, a little bit. Well, and this is what's interesting to me about FPO is that, like, if you look at Evelina and Holland and Ella, all 3 of those players, I mean, Kat Merch, I think a little bit. I'm not as familiar with like that aspect of her game, but the top 3 there that were really competing are probably, if not the 3 farthest throwing women in the world. And so I was looking at that. And I'm like, okay, so what really like stood out that kept them close? I was wondering. So I was looking at their stats. Ella, for instance, who won, she won it in the playoff. She putt for the weekend. What do you think her C1X putting percentage was? I'm just going to give you a hint. It's lower than you think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I was going to say 90s-ish percent.
Yeah, no.
This is Circle 1?
Circle 1.
70s?
70.3%. That was her Circle 1 percentage.
Wow.
So putting is like, and again, like 70 is like great for Cameron and I. You know what I'm saying? We're sitting here talking about this. That's awesome. I'm not putting 70% from Circle 1 on the Pro Tour. And so, yeah, but the difference is like, okay, so I'm seeing that. I'm like, okay, she won. She only put 70% from Circle 1. Whereas again, on the MPO side of things, if you're not putting 95 plus, you're losing in strokes. If you're not putting 95% plus from Circle 1. So then I was like, oh, I'm curious. So I know Evelina like traditionally has struggled on the putting green. That's something that is like pretty notorious with her game.
It's her MO, if you will.
And she started out on fire. Didn't get a lot of birdies, but in round 1, Evelina, I believe, if I saw correctly, yeah, she was 92% from Circle 1. Missed 1 Circle 1 putt.
Well, and so that's the difference. I'm looking at it now. So the difference between round 1 to round 3, kind of round 1 obviously matters, but round 3 is like when you really got to do it.
Yep.
6 for 13 Circle 1 putting. So
right.
she was less than 50%.
And she shot better in round 3. Like her score was better. So her driving was great in round 3. Like she was getting really close and dropping them in, probably getting some nice drop in birdies. But that meant that if she capitalized on, again, even 3 or 4 or more of her C1X putts and putt her normal 70%, she wins by 3 strokes probably.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the difference. Sorry, she was 46% from Circle 1 today.
Yeah, that's 50% anything.
Doesn't feel good.
No, as far as like professional sports go. Because like you think about Circle 1X, I would say is the equivalent to a free throw.
Well, and that's what's tough though about that is like specifically.
Am I wrong for that?
I think so a little bit.
Okay. Sure.
Because C1X putts, that's what I was going to get into. A free throw is the same exact thing every single time. A C1X putt, even a 30-foot C1X putt, depending on if you're in a bush or behind a tree, you have to straddle.
Sure.
And so we don't know what Evelina's footing was like on every hole. So like,
well, especially on a course like this.
Yeah, she may have missed 4 or 5 putts from C1X because she was straddling out from behind a palm tree in Florida, from 33 feet away. Like, I'm not making that either. But I'm probably making that less than 40% of the time.
Sure.
So yeah, it's you never really know. You don't get the full picture there, but that really is what it comes down to. Like, for these women, for these ladies, if they can have a weekend where any of these 3 in particular that do have that like elite level power, if they can get 70 to 80% putting on a weekend, they should be able to take it down.
Yeah, I think that's always been the story for Evelina. And like, because even that was like the thing at Worlds last year is that she would have won. She won already, but she would have won by like pushing 10 strokes if she just made like, 25% more of the putts, or if she was like at least over 50% on the putting green. So it's like she has everything she needs to be
the best.
And even I would argue, like, to say, yes, the best, but yeah, to rival Kristen in that way.
Absolutely.
But I mean, putting is 90% mental.
Yep.
And especially, I don't want to call you out.
Yeah, check our last couple of videos. It's just like it's in my brain. I will say I kind of was doing some grip changes, feeling pretty good about it.
Okay. All right. Well, congratulations to Ella Hansen if you watch this.
I'm happy to see Ella Hansen get a win.
Yeah, it is fun because she's someone who's always up there and just never could quite get it done.
I like a Discmania representative.
Sure.
I like that.
Yeah. Onto the FPO side, What did I say?
You said FPO.
Onto the MPO side. Before I say who won, and again, if you're watching this on Monday, you've probably already seen. This goes back to my Discraft is kind of taking over disc golf. They're becoming the Tom Brady New England Patriots. I just looked, and I'm saying the top 11 won to kind of prove the point a little more, but there was several ties. So regardless, Discraft in the top 11 had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 11 in the top 11. Which I get the 11 is weird now that I'm saying it out loud, but just to relay the point, they are everywhere on the top of the leaderboards.
Yeah.
We're just going to get into it. Ezra Robinson, first win on the Pro Tour, actually. I guess he won, was that 2 years ago? It was an A tier, I guess, wasn't it? Flying Disc Open?
Yeah, sure.
I think so, because that's when he was with us, but he won pretty handedly. Course record, actually. I was watching it on the way up here. I wasn't watching it on the way up here while I was driving. I was listening to it. That's
kind of specified.
That's what I just
in case
said.
anybody's a policeman.
Yeah. Course record to finish it, which is huge. He ended up winning by 6 strokes over a B, who, and I've already seen comments. And again, for those that didn't watch, AB was in the lead after round 1, in the lead after round 2. It didn't take very long in round 3 to lose the lead, but everyone was kind of saying AB was, he choked this event and whatever, especially being, the returning champ. But one thing, and this is where I like Nate Doss is very statistic oriented when he does commentary, which I like because I don't know, especially being like a former player like he was, he definitely he can respect the game, I think, a little more. But people are saying Anthony choked it, quote unquote. Ezra had 1 bogey all weekend in round 2, and it was the second hardest hole in the course. So, and he actually birdied it today. So kind of just canceled it out. So I wouldn't say that Anthony choked it necessarily. Was he winning? Sure. Was he? I think to the start of the final round, he was winning by 2 strokes. So that's certainly not I wouldn't say that's within choke range. If he was up by like 5-6 and lost, I'd probably be like, all right, man, that's a bad look. 2 strokes is nothing. It basically switched on hole 4 in the final round. Ezra birdied, which I think played as like, again, it played as like,
I think hole 4 might have been the hardest hole.
I think they said when they were playing at that point in the round, when they were playing, obviously it's the last card, Terry said it was playing 4.63 on average, par 4.
Yeah.
So well over
a half stroke over par.
Yeah, and he birdied. AB, I was watching this when it happened because I was like, oh my gosh, like Ezra he might do it. AB had a bad tee shot. Sorry. Throat's dry. Bad tee shot. Threw OB on the second. Technically threw OB on the third. He just rolled it like it was like a pop-up roll down and OB. So he ended up tripling. So he went from 2 up to 2 down just like that. And then Ezra just never took his foot off the gas. Yeah. Again,
followed that up with another birdie.
Yeah. So 12 down, 1087 official, which is absolutely nuts. One thing I would like to note, my guy, Paul Macbeth, little podium finish.
Yeah.
Oh, I called Jacob earlier today as soon as this happened because we were like, I think Paul was 5 back of AB at the start of the last round, and I was like, dude, like, if anyone could do it, Paul could do it. You know what I mean? And I just want him to win so bad, just one, so like people can kind of stop hating on him because he is Paul Macbeth. But he started out double bogey, and I was like, you've got to be kidding me. I called Jacob, and I was like, that's not going to happen. And like he just knew immediately what I was talking about. Yeah. But still, podium finish, which is great. He only finished 1 back of AB, which, again, all things considered, he was +3 through 2, still finished 7 down.
Yeah, had an absolute. I mean, yeah. So after hole 2, he shot 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 down after through the last 16 holes.
Yeah, which is, I mean, it looks like Calvin shot 10 down. It looks like that's a 1074 rated round. Ricky finishing 4th. Him and Paul were right there neck and neck. I think there was a couple holes towards the end where I think Ricky, I forget if it was like he didn't have like a great tee shot or Paul just had a better one, but just lost a couple strokes there because I think they were basically like one was winning and then it flipped and then it flipped and then it flipped. So they were kind of going back and forth. It seemed like the whole round. But Calvin, this is where I'm gonna what am I saying? What I said at the beginning. If you watch this tournament, this is like the best way this could have started. This was like I almost felt nostalgic in a weird way. I've only been around the game for like 5-ish years now, a little over maybe. But you see Paul Macbeth, you see Ricky, Calvin had a good round, Simon had a good round. Like you see kind of like the classic guys that are like usually at the top of the leaderboard. And I don't know if it's because I've been deprived of professional disc golf for so long, but it felt good to see those guys. Obviously, you're going to mix in the young guys like Ezra, like AB, Kyle Klein finished 6th. Jake Mon, which I don't know. Do you know much about Jake Mon?
I mean, I just know that his brother is also really good.
Yeah, dude is good. He crushes. I think they said this was his best finish on the Pro Tour. So shouts to Jake Mon. I think he also finished. They're saying he finished 6th at it was either Idlewild or Des Moines. I don't quite remember, but yeah, it's I don't know, man. It was fun. This was like the first time in a long time I really enjoyed watching professional disc golf that wasn't live, because obviously live is like totally different. But you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, a couple of things to note. Number one, you heard it here first. Why don't you go back and listen about 3 episodes ago? We were talking about, hey, who's people that haven't picked up a win yet on the Pro Tour that this is going to be their year? And I want you to go ahead and run back the clip because your boy said, hey, you know what? Ezra Robinson is definitely getting a win this year.
I don't think I was saying no to that, but yeah, I do remember that. And I guess we had a bet on this, no? Or no, that was about Isaac and Calvin.
That's on Worlds. No, it was Isaac and Ricky.
Was it?
I said that Ricky is going to
have a better season.
Yeah, I think I said specifically the bet was that he would have more wins
than
Isaac.
Yeah, but yeah.
Hey, where's Isaac at on the leaderboard? Do you want to scroll down and tell him? Ricky was 4th, by the way.
15th.
Point Ricky.
Yeah, you got me there.
Other notable finish outside the top 10 was Gannon Berg.
Oh yeah, let me look that up real quick.
No, I already looked it up. Don't worry about it.
Great.
Because I was curious. I was like, wow, I finished outside the top 10. That's nuts. I looked, and last year, which was his Player of the Year season,
8 wins.
Ridiculous. He only finished outside the top 10 once last year, and already has done that.
Got to step it up the rest of the year.
One. So again, he got like 11th or 12th. It's not like he had a terrible tournament, but yeah, I'm sure he would have liked to have finished better, obviously, but yeah, didn't quite go his way this weekend either. But I don't really. Whenever I saw the Olympus course, I didn't think Gannon Burr's strengths.
Dude, that course looks so difficult.
It does look difficult,
and it's like it's very specific. And granted, being Paul Macbeth design, that's probably what you're gonna get. But it's very specific landing zones. Like you really can't miss left or right and be fine. You have to be in the fairway or be just like a S-tier scrambler to be able to get birdies out here.
Yeah, I liked seeing Simon get a top 10 finish. Kyle Klein getting a top 10 finish early, I think, is good for him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there was a lot of good names there. But yeah, getting outside the top 10 was surprising.
Chris Dickerson was around. He was up there on round.
He was on Chase.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Chase. It looked like he didn't have a bad final round. He was just kind of maintaining. Like he shot 2 down, but it was a lot of pars. 3 birdies and a bogey was all he had, and then everything else pars.
It's a little sad that like top 15 feels good for Eagle McMahon, but he finished 12th. Like I don't know. I want Eagle to be great again. Somebody was talking. Okay, if you didn't see any of the tournament coverage, go watch Jomez's round 2 front 9 coverage. Go to hole 2. And you'll watch Anthony Barella get a very fortunate double kick kind of into the edge of the fairway of a tunnel shot. He was left with about 500 feet on a forehand high that would have to stall and fall to the right towards the basket, with which he executed and then made like a 50-foot putt for the birdie, which Jeremy and Paul Ulibarri were both like, yeah, no, he's not getting a birdie from there. Classic. Dimed a 500-foot forehand and then a 50-foot putt. It was insane. And they were talking about like, well, who could really even like do that besides him? And Jeremy Colling was like, prime Eagle McMahon, you definitely could do that. And I was like, dude, it's really sad that now we're like past prime Eagle McMahon, it seems, and it makes me sad.
Well, and it hits different that his shoulder literally was like
totally avoidable.
Yeah,
such an avoidable injury. Shout out to Jomez.
Yeah, actually, it all goes back on them. How many events are there this year?
20 something.
Because this kind of leads to my next talking point. Outside of the playoff, the Pro Tour Championship.
I don't know, count.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. 22 it looks like, actually. Which is what I thought I was just confirming. This basically leads to kind of the next talking point. And I think I know the answer. And I get there's still some other people you kind of have to think about and take into consideration. But is Discraft, do they just like basically own disc golf now? Because and I get this was the Supreme Flight. Obviously, Paul Macbeth is sponsored by Discraft. You're going to see a lot of Discraft out there. But round 1, the leaders, all 4 of them, lead card, Discraft. Second round, all of them Discraft. Into the third round, obviously, all of them Discraft.
Yeah, so you're just seeing, I mean, if you're Discraft, the problem is, it's not a problem, but there's just not as many eyes on disc golf, particularly on like post-produced coverage as there was in 2021. Mm-hmm. If you're Discraft in 2021, this is the best thing ever for you because every new player is just going to only see your discs being thrown. And that was also at a time where they would happily say what disc is being thrown. But now that disc golf's gotten a little bit more popular, that coverage doesn't do that anymore. They don't say, oh, that's his Buzz, or that's his Malta, or that's his Raptor. They just have to say, that's his, this is looking like an overstable fairway. They can't be specific about discs anymore. But back at that time, I'm sure this would have been a marketing goldmine.
Absolutely.
I mean, I'm sure it's still doing great. It's doing exactly what they want it to do, which is great. I mean, it's kind of like Discraft can do no wrong a little bit. They've got a wee bit of a Midas touch happening.
Oh my gosh. You said that added a wrinkle to the brain because that is incredibly accurate.
Yeah. I mean, I'll be interested to see, because what's the next event? Can you remind me?
Waco.
Is Waco? I was about to say, when did they go to Waco?
Mm-hmm.
I would not be shocked if Ezra Robinson is competing at that same event again. But the problem is that event in particular, I feel like there's always somebody that pops up that it's like, who in the heck are they and why are they there?
Well, and that's
because
what's funny.
It's such a scoreable course for the
the
professional scene. People are gonna shoot double digits under par every single day. The top 10 will, you know what I mean? So it's just one of those where someone's going to have consistent like 13 to 14 under pars to take it down, unless they make the course a little bit harder.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be any course changes or anything like that. But this was basically leading to my question, and this is more for the MPO side because again, just not being as many FPO players in general. But there's really only, I guess I'll give you three. I'll give you Paige for being three like heavy hitter Discraft players on the FPO side. But at least as far as the MPO side goes, how many events out of the 22 does Discraft win?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, the only thing I was going to say whenever you were like, do they own disc golf, was that Gannon Burr still exists.
Right.
So total wins out of 22. I mean, I think Discraft will probably take 12, easily half. I think half of them at least.
Half is definitely safe. I could see it being, I mean, I would love to see Calvin win. I would love to see Simon win something. But I think like outside of like Calvin, Simon, Gannon, unless someone just pops off for an event, which obviously is pretty common and I'm sure inevitably will happen. I guess there's Isaac too. I'm already going back on my guy.
A little Latitude 64 actually.
I would like to see him win with his new bag, but I just don't see outside of like 3 or 4 guys how someone from this elite team doesn't win. You know what I mean? Yeah. It's like a weird strength in numbers type thing. Again, if you're a Discraft business guy,
down to like the worst, the quote unquote worst of their elite team is like Ezra Aderhold and like Aaron Gossage. You know what I mean? Like there's still guys that Aaron Gossage is a world champion runner up. You know what I mean? Like there's still guys that have been there and have competed at the highest levels, and they're like, you know, the quote unquote, you know, the worst of an amazing team of professionals.
Yeah, it's just one of those things because I think that was the problem. It's going to be a weird, because obviously like there's going to be unique winners, but if this keeps happening with Discraft, they're obviously loving it because why wouldn't you as a business? But as far as like a spectator goes, a viewer goes, it's almost like Paul Macbeth 2015, Gannon Burr last year-esque, where it's like you almost get tired of watching them win. You know what I mean?
I don't think it'll be as much because it's like they don't care about the manufacturer winning. I don't think people care about that.
Sure, yeah. But I think it's just like, I guess, not for the people that do, but like for the people like me that would probably keep track of that. You know, I don't know. You know what I mean?
Maybe. I guess if you just like really dislike a manufacturer's discs, that could get annoying. But I mean, I guess I like kind of felt that because I don't really care for Prodigy plastic all that much. And I like sort of felt that way. Like whenever Isaac and Gannon were winning a bunch with Prodigy, but I wasn't irritated. Like I didn't get tired that they were winning.
Sure. Yeah, no, I don't know. I get it. Maybe I'm just reading too much into it. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just don't place enough effort, or I don't place enough emphasis, I should say, on the fact that like I said, that Ezra, Anthony, Paul, and Ricky are all on the same team, as it were.
Sure.
Like, yes, they have the same discs, and yes, they call them a team, but they're not. Ricky wanted to win. He didn't want to get fourth. And sure. He would have happily beat Ezra if he could have. So, yeah, like they're on a team, but they're obviously competing against each other.
Well, yes, I realize that. I'm just saying it's like, again, from a viewer standpoint, it's like someone, you know, it's almost not why watch, but it's like almost someone from Discraft is going to win. You know, you're like, all right, that's just the way it is. You know what I mean?
I guess.
I don't know. I feel like I don't know. I don't have anything against Discraft.
It was the same logic as last year. Like one of these 4 people are going to win. Just now, like 2 or 3 of those 4 people are on the same manufacturer.
Sure. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into it, but I feel like it makes sense in my brain.
I mean, how many unique winners were there last year? Do you know?
Oh gosh, I can maybe try to find that.
Because I mean, I'll just try to even think of it. Like, okay, well, let's just go through. I mean, you had Anthony won in the first one. Who won Waco last year?
I think AB did.
Did he go back to back?
I'm pretty sure he won. Pretty much all of his early.
Nicolas Antela won Open in Austin. I don't know what's after the Open in Austin. Who won OTB this last year? Was that also Gannon?
It might have been. Oops.
Oh no, that was was that Isaac or was that Isaac last year? 2 years ago.
Oh no, Anthony did not win Waco. Gannon won Waco.
Okay, so Gannon won Waco. We know Gannon won 8, so that takes 8 events off the board. We know Anthony won how many? 5?
Anthony won Texas State.
Did Anthony win 5 events?
I think he won 4. He won chess. He won Texas State, Jonesboro, Des Moines. Yeah.
Okay, so he won 4. So that's 12. Half of the events were won by Anthony Barella or Gannon Burr.
Ricky had some.
Ricky had
multiple.
Yeah, multiple. I mean, Isaac won Worlds. Gannon won European Open.
Joseph Anderson, Idlewild.
Joey Buckets had a win. Like I said, Nicolas Antela had a win. So yeah, there's just, like I said, it's kind of one of those where Ricky won multiple, Anthony won multiple, Gannon won multiple, and that's 3 of the 4 from this top 4 this time. They're just now all are. Last year they were sponsored by 3 different people, and now they're all sponsored by the same person.
So this kind of leads me to another question. What is it, do you think about Discraft that is so enticing for players? I
thought you meant from a consumer.
I mean, sure. I feel like it goes the same way.
For both. Oh, sure. I don't think it's the same.
Okay.
I think the feel is good. Like, I think that they make a good product. I think that is why professionals like it. If it wasn't a good product, they wouldn't throw it.
Sure.
But the other piece of it is that because it is a good product, it sells a lot. So for a professional, they like Discraft because it sells. They like Discraft because if they put their name on a Force or they put their name on a Raptor, they put their name on a Buzz or a Zone, they're going to sell it and they're going to make royalty percentages off of it. Plus, it's a good quality product. So that's a win-win as a player.
Sure.
From a consumer standpoint, all you really care about is the feel and the quality of the product, and it's good. Like, it has stood the test of time in terms of quality assurance and has made itself a staple in the community because it has had that quality assured. So for a consumer, they see professionals succeeding with it, and so they want it. And so as a result of them wanting it, it goes back and helps the professionals. So it's just a continuous cycle of professionals using it because it's a good product and because they win with it, and therefore that encourages consumers to want to buy it, which helps the professionals, and it just goes in a circle.
Sure. And I guess I see what you're saying. And I don't know, I guess some of the pros, at least for Prodigy, were also saying that their product isn't good. But Gannon was winning. Isaac won back-to-back world champions and that's what's crazy to me is that Isaac won back-to-back championships or like world championships with Prodigy, and like nothing came of it. And I don't know if that's bad marketing from Prodigy or seriously nobody likes Prodigy. But it's just, I don't know. It's weird that like I feel like Discraft is just like they're here. You know what I mean? Everyone else is here. Maybe Innova slightly above. MVP certainly on the rise, but Discraft is like here in my eyes. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, just statistically speaking, I don't know if you also knew this or not, but in terms of like customer satisfaction across all manufacturers, Innova is actually like by far and away the most number one, most purchased, but number 2, most quality assured by consumers. Discraft and MVP are like a close second and third to each other. But like the gap between first to Innova and second being Discraft was like fairly larger than you might think. But then, it was Discraft and then MVP. But again, all that to say is I think it also goes back to the fact that anybody that gets into disc golf is going to find Paul Macbeth's name. And Paul Macbeth is on every Discraft disc that they can put his name on.
Absolutely. Also, this is like a side note to kind of the putting names on discs. Jomez does put the discs that the players are throwing. How accurate they are, I don't know, because at one point they had Ezra as Chris Dickerson for like a couple holes of the coverage. So you like to think it's like pretty accurate, but again, people make mistakes. But they had AB throwing this year's Tour Series Venoms, like the Z whatever, Z Swirl, like the 2020 plastic. So. Nice. which is like obviously cool, but it's like release them to us. You know what I mean? Because I feel like Tour Series stuff is almost like kind of a early mid-season release typically. So it's crazy right now. But right, but it's I'd say like early to mid, like it's around that like probably like 9 to 10 events. You know, you see like it's been a couple months before they release all the Tour Series, but it's interesting that they have them made and the players bag them and use them in competition, and they're not released to the public yet. But that's it for the pro side here. We had a tournament in Lebanon, Missouri, which is about an hour-ish, northwest of Springfield?
Northeast.
Yeah, northeast. We had several guys playing in that, I believe. Start with the MPO side. Shout out Dallas Whittle, 970 rated up there.
Shout out.
Took it down. It looks like in a playoff too with River Flag, who I see his name, River. I don't know if you watch this. You probably have like top 3 coolest names I've ever heard in my entire lifetime.
River Flag is really cool.
That's a pretty fire name.
I tried to get my wife to name our daughter River because then her name would have been Riverbanks, and she wasn't feeling it.
Yeah, didn't go for it. Unfortunate, but shout out River. We're I wonder how many they don't show playoff holes. I don't think if it's not like the Pro Tour, but Nevada finished tied Nevada. Third. Yeah, it was big. Only 1 stroke back of the lead too.
Whoa.
Yeah.
2 people were 1 stroke back. That was a 4-way playoff. That's crazy.
Yeah, that would have been insane. Ben took 7th.
Shout out Ben.
He's just kind of a dog. It looks like he had a slow first round, but a really, really good second round. But let's move on here. Who else do we have? MA1, Ezra Piper.
Dude, Ezra.
Dude, he's
big bad Ezra.
I hope he watches this too. We call each other sandbaggers a lot, but I've been calling him one more recently because he just wins all the time now. And he's like, oh, I'm only 921 rated now. And it's like, dude, you're way better than that. He's played 5 events and he's won 3 of them this year. So he's and this is all MA1, and I don't know, he's really good, and he's super funny too to play with. He's funny.
He's also a dog on a basketball court.
He is, man. He is. That's a throwback. Major looks like he got 7th there. Even par. Nothing wrong with that at all. Wow, that is crazy though. Looking at it, even was 933 rated first round, 897 rated second round.
Dang. Well, it's different courses.
Was it?
Yeah, one of them is Jared Hilton Memorial, and the other one is.
Oh, it was.
What's that other one called? Winfrey?
I don't know. I'll look it up. But
yeah, Winfrey Memorial.
Yeah. I didn't realize too. I almost played this, but I forget.
We should do that for a brother battle. We haven't been out to Lebanon. Those
are
some
we
fun
haven't.
Courses.
But I almost played in it, but I didn't realize. I was looking at UDisc, basically doing like some scouting. I didn't realize they're on like the same property. It's like a giant park. I had no idea, but so like that definitely makes it a little more enticing because I've
played in that tournament before. I got second.
Did you really?
Yes.
Oh boy.
It was probably the last tournament I played it. I think it was like 2.5 years ago.
We'll look it up. This is just a question that I think people should answer in the comments. Based on what you've seen, you can look me up and find my rating because I've played pretty regularly. I don't think Jacob shows his rating. I actually don't think mine shows my rating because I haven't renewed yet. I would love to know what people think our ratings are. Because it's probably... I feel like it'd be a lot worse than what mine actually is. But
mine's probably going to be pretty realistic to what mine is.
So guess our ratings down in the comments, and we'll let you know how close you are. Moving on... Where are we at? MA2. This was kind of the story of the tournament here. Brian Warren took second place. He's our guy. The guy that won shot 13 under for the tournament.
That's crazy.
He would have won MPO. I know he played MA2, but I know he plays like MA1, and I think he even played MPO last year. So I think they said he was hurt or something, and it's just kind of like getting back into tournaments or something like that.
That's interesting because his rating is 931, so I didn't even think you'd be able to register an MA2 with that.
935 is the cutoff, so he's still within the right for sure. But a 1041 first round.
That's crazy. And then a 935 second round.
Yeah, but
that's crazy.
Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah, but he would have won MPO with his first round alone. The winner in MPO was 10 down. He shot 12 down first round.
That's crazy.
Which is absolutely nuts. Shout out you. That's crazy. But you know, I'm gonna go ahead and give Brian Warren the honorary win because I mean, what are you supposed to do with that? With a 1041 rated round, you're like after round 1, you're already playing for second because there's almost nothing that he could do to lose 10 strokes in that second round. So Brian Warren, shouts to you. You're a winner in my book. I don't know if we had any. Oh, we did. Izzy finished 8th there. It's a great little event, especially with there's 22 people in what is this MA3. There's a lot there. I think that's actually it for us. So we had, what was that, 4?
No.
5?
I think it was 5 or 6.
I don't know. I'm bad at math. But shout out again to all the guys. We really appreciate you being out there.
Legends.
I'll get out there eventually. Jacob, he's like contemplated it. I don't know if he will or not.
I've done some contemplation.
It's just one of those things. As far as I'm speaking for Jacob here, so I guess you can probably tell me if I'm wrong. But okay. I know you've said this in the past. Jacob doesn't play events because he wants to win money, but you probably don't think you're quite good enough to like take down an MPO event. Is that
no, definitely not.
So it's like for him,
for me, it's not worth it to win gift cards,
right? Especially when
we
have access to any disc possible. So,
and I don't care about growing my rating or, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like I'm cool being like a weekend warrior guy that goes out and plays to record YouTube videos. I don't need to spend $50 to maybe win $50 worth of gift cards.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And that's interesting that you said that because I forget who I was talking to the other day in here, but they were asking me if I was playing in any events. And I told them I had some scheduled, but I was like, I just have way more fun doing like the content side of things.
Yeah.
And I actually have like a video, like, so Road to Pro is starting back up. I recorded the video Saturday, I think. I don't know when it'll go up, either this week or next week. I'm not quite sure. But I was basically talking about like I enjoy the content side of things far more than driving sometimes like 4 or 5 hours to go play a tournament and then end up playing like absolute garbage. But I genuinely do not know the last time I've played a round that wasn't recorded.
Yeah,
like
same.
I mean, if we can just go back, like I'll just go to our YouTube.
I mean, I was putting the other day, if that counts.
No.
Oh, then yeah, I don't think I have either.
Yeah, it's been outside of tournaments, obviously, I would like to record tournament rounds, but I don't want to bother anyone. And also I feel like that just like adds more weird pressure for me. But outside of tournaments, we'll just go back here. It's probably been, I mean, at least several months. Probably go back to 1 month here, 2 months. Probably pushing, I would say, I think there was some time in there, probably pushing 4 months of recorded round, like, or having no recorded rounds. Yeah. Or I said that wrong.
Playing without being recorded.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. Which is funny. And I'm not saying anything bad about that. Like, I honestly enjoy doing that. And again, as far as YouTube goes, if I'm playing, I might as well be recording at this point. You know what I mean? Is that wrong to say?
Sure.
That is wrong to say?
No, I think it's like, okay.
Oh, okay. But so I don't know. We'll get to tournaments eventually.
I think the only tournament I'll be playing in is one that we are running. Wink, wink.
Oh snap! Is that a teaser?
Is that a soft launch?
It is a soft launch. We and I guess I'll go ahead and say something while we're on the topic. If you follow us on Instagram or Facebook, you saw, or if you saw our story, you saw that I got certified to be a TD. Are you gonna do that?
Yeah, probably could.
Probably might as well. I know our dad is going to get certified, so that way we can all kind of run it. We have a date in mind. I'm not going to say it out loud in case it gets pushed back, but we have a date in mind that is fairly soon. for a tournament. So kind of excited about that. We're getting
a lot of the local guys have been asking for it.
Absolutely.
For a while.
Yeah. And I hope it's well received.
We're bringing out all the stops. We're trying to make a quality event.
Yeah, absolutely. So
that's kind of been what's holding us back, I guess you could say. In the past, is like we knew that if we did it, we wanted to do it like with excellence, and we didn't really know exactly how to do that.
For sure. Well, I think we probably didn't really know. We've learned a lot here in the past like couple weeks or so since we've been like actively pursuing it. But and I guess that kind of like then kind of points to you as the viewer. Let us know what you like about tournaments and dislike about tournaments, because I think we said this when we were answering questions a couple weeks ago, but we want to make sure we're doing justice by you guys by hosting a good event, especially being our first one. We don't want to just like rush through the preparation and the process to get it all started, and then you guys just have like a terrible time like playing in it.
Yeah.
Because that would like be obviously the last thing we want. That we ran one event, it went horrible, and then as soon as we run a second event, everyone's like, "Yeah, I'm not going to play in that." We want something. We've been waiting so long because we want to put out the best quality product for you to make it more worthwhile, especially if you're going to spend your money to come play in it. Can I tell them what kind of tournament?
Okay,
I think that's pretty set in stone for us. We noticed in the area there are no flex start tournaments anywhere. And I get some people are against them, but there's certainly a lot of people for them. It's great. We wanted something where beginners and experienced players alike could play. Not that you can't play like as a beginner in like a local like 2-round C tier, but this is definitely a more relaxed way to get into playing tournaments. But we've asked around quite often or quite a bit to see if people would even be interested in flex starts. But a lot of people have said yes, because obviously like a flex start, you show up within the allotted time to go play your round. It's not you're showing up at probably 8, to get started at 9 or whatever it may be. You can come before work, you can come in the middle of the day. If you're not working, you can come after work or whatever it may be. There is time for you to play. So I think that was just kind of like, in a way, a need not being met. Is that accurate?
Yeah, I would agree for sure.
In the space. And that's one of the things too, is not that we were necessarily late to the game, but there are TDs in the area that had their schedules out like in December for this year. And we definitely don't want to encroach, I guess, on what they already have planned. And there's weekends open, but flex starts also you can do any day of the week. So if you do play, like you've had your eye on a tournament that's already been scheduled, you can still play one of ours should we have it on a day that's obviously not Saturday. Or even if it is Saturday, you could play your tournament and maybe still have time to come play that one. I don't know. We probably won't do the flex starts on Saturday. We'll obviously do the normal ones on Saturday, but the flex starts will be probably on a Friday or a Sunday. I'm guessing those would probably seem like the most open times to do something like that. But we are in the process. I'm certified TD. Jacob's on his way there. Our dad's on his way there. So we're really excited. And again, we want to make sure we put out the best like quality product. So again, I'm not necessarily like begging, but sort of let us know, because I've definitely been to good events, well-run events, and I've certainly been to really bad events that was like, it almost just feels like you're wandering around aimlessly while you're playing. So let us know what you like, dislike about tournaments, please, because again, and I feel like I can't stress this enough, we want to put on a good event. And I say good, that's pretty loose. We want to put on like a great event that people talk about, want to come back to. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
But yeah. I think that's it for my little my ramble there. That wasn't even a talking point.
We'll have a lot more details on it here in a couple weeks.
Yeah, if you're not following on Instagram or Facebook or YouTube, actually, probably go do that, because that's obviously where we're going to post everything. Yeah. But yeah, I think we're moved on to the Price is Wrong. No,
Price is Wrong. Okay, so for the Price is Wrong, we're gonna get a little bit more abstract, but we're very much in the realm of. I feel like we're still in the realm of disc golf, loosely, but I think we are in your realm of knowledge.
Perfect.
So on Facebook Marketplace, this was listed 23 hours ago. So within a day,
this is fresh.
In Missouri.
Okay.
In Missouri, I have a 1998 Chevy Express van converted into a home. So that's why I feel like it's disc golf vibes, because people be living in those things and stuff.
Some of us, yeah.
Yeah, and so I know you yourself are a van guy.
Okay.
A van lifer, if you will.
It's right out there.
It is right out there. We see it. And so I'm going to show you some images. I'm going to read the description to you first, and then we're going to play the Price is Wrong. Okay. Description. It has crossed the country without fail.
Sure.
Starts up like a champion. Runs smoothly, and all maintenance has been done right on time. She is older. It's a she. With 320,000 miles on the engine.
Dang.
And 120,000 miles on the new transmission, thousands of dollars has been spent on her to get her to be completely mechanically sound.
Sure.
Including all new tires. In September 2023, it was under warranty with a new catalytic converter. Catalytic converter. Paperwork on all maintenance. The inside is fully built out with everything a fancy Sprinter has, but without the fancy Sprinter price tag. Big hint.
Yeah.
A propane oven, 2 stove burner top, freezer, fridge, sink, and a shower with a propane hot water heater. There is also an abundance of built-in storage with covers so that everything stays in place while you're adventuring. All electrical is ran by 2 100-watt solar panels,
sure,
which are connected inside to a 1,000-watt inverter. That gives you 3 regular prong outlets where you can charge phones, laptops, etc. Solar panels and deck installed on the roof. So there is a deck.
That's pretty fire.
I'm going to show you some images.
I was going to say, dang, that's a legit deck too.
Yeah.
Wow. That is really nice. I'm not going to say it's better than mine, but
some aspects of it definitely are.
Yeah, well, the shower part is probably, but I don't know, because stuff like that. I mean, the 300,000 miles, that's a severe cut, because there's not many cars that go much longer than that. It's probably like an old truck that you see that like still pushes after 300,000.
Yeah,
but geez, that actually looked a lot better than I thought it was going to. 300,000 plus 100 on transmission.
Did you feel like it was pretty on par for like the power that it has? Like it would have enough to actually like power a hot water propane thing? And
well, I don't know how much power that draws, but like I have 300 watts on top of mine. So,
and I feel like sometimes you run out of power and you don't have a hot water.
Well, I have a really bad refrigerator. That's my problem. But man, I'm gonna go. Wow, I'm trying to think about mine and my old one. Are you thinking about like what you would sell yours for?
Mm-hmm. Yours has so many less miles.
Absolutely, yeah. But I would probably say, and again, I think I say this every week. I'm going based on what I would pay for that. At most, well, the 300,000 miles, I have to take that into account. I would say like $12,000 is my final answer.
Final answer, $12,000.
I feel like that's high.
It's very low.
Really?
I say very. The ticket price on there was $20,000.
Okay. I mean, I can see that.
As a house, it was nicely built out. Very nicely built out.
Sure.
But yeah, the lifetime of the vehicle itself is a concern.
It does not have that much long left in the life.
So it's going to be a $5,000 fix on an engine within a year, probably.
Yeah,
depending on how much you're traveling.
We'll come back to that post in about a month because I'm sure it'll still be up. But I don't know. Interesting. Way off there. What was I? Technically, I was under though.
$8,000.
I was under though. So I mean,
that's fair.
Moving on. Last thing we got for you today is the question of the day. This one is a vulnerable one, if you will. Question of the day. I'll read it this time. What are the best and worst parts of your games? Now it's literally reality check time, if you will. Do you want me to go first? Or do you want you to answer?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay.
I want to see if I agree with you.
Well, man, I'll go best first. I don't know if I would say forehand is the best part of my game right now. I've been throwing so many backhands off the tee and the tech disc, like just grinding form and mechanics, that I would argue to say backhand off the tee is better than forehand off the tee right now. I don't know if I quite feel
that's the best part or your worst part.
No, I think that's my best part is backhand off the tee right now. At this point, like today, I think overall in my disc golf career, forehand's probably the best part of my game, just because I do it the most. But I think the worst part, this is my worst part, is backhand approach. Just the touchy little shots. My distance control is pun intended subpar, which I don't understand the saying. It would be over par, but you get what I mean. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do get that.
But the Berg has bailed me out. I actually have the Berg X in my bag right now. Just a little more torque resistant. I can throw it a little harder. But anyways, best part, I think, which is crazy now that I'm saying it, is I'm going to say backhand off the tee. Worst part is backhand approach game. Go ahead.
Sorry, I had to crack my neck right there.
I think I know what your worst part is.
Yeah, I don't think your backhand off the tee is your best part, but I also don't play with you as much as you play, obviously.
I mean, if you go watch pretty much any of our videos,
I think that's your most improved part of your game.
Sure.
I think you're being blinded by the fact that it was like pretty not good.
Yeah.
And now it is good.
Yeah, yeah.
Like it is a very good part of your game. I don't want to downplay it. It is a very good part of your game, but I still don't think it's the best part. I think it has improved the most though.
Okay. So I'll change my answer to forehand.
I still don't think that's accurate.
Really?
No, absolutely not.
Oh, you think putting?
I think your putting is easily the best it's ever been in your life. And I think that you may have moments where it's like, kind of faltering a little bit. You know, you miss one, but sure. I feel like just in terms of consistency, your putt is in the most consistent place it's ever been. And for a lot of people, that's where they're losing strokes. Because like from 30 and in, I'm like pretty confident that you're like giving it a chance.
Yeah. No, that's fair.
If you're in C1, I'm like, all right, Cameron can make that.
Yeah. Anyway. Yeah. I'll take that. I'll change my answer. You've convinced me. Yeah. Circle one, best part, backhand approach, worst part.
I could still see the backhand approach being the worst part.
Yeah, that's tough.
I think, okay, let me think actually fully. Because I just don't play enough to really even see all the parts. I honestly think that decision making might be like my best part of my game.
That's a dark horse pick there.
Yeah, like I think I know exactly what I really don't find myself trying to do like too much or do like a hero shot type of thing. I know the right shot for the moment. And I know like when to lay up. I know when to try to make a strategic move. And even like the placement of the disc, where I want to try to like put the disc, has been better than I feel like it's ever been. Like I can read wind and know that like, okay, I want to throw a backhand in this crossing right to left wind because it's going to get a lot of movement to the left. So I can throw it out wide and I know it will move left. And I can leave myself a tailwind putt rather than being on the far left side of the basket with a headwind putt. But the problem then is my worst part of my game right now is easily my putting. Yeah. Because if I'm not dropping it in, it's like, it's not going in.
Well, and here's my thing, my quick fix for you, I think, is you putt with a ton of hyzer right now. And the other person that off the top of my head that I know that putts with a ton of hyzer is Garrett Gerthy, and he's not really a good putter.
I know for a fact I don't putt with as much hyzer as Garrett Gerthy, but
there are some, I think it's mostly on jump putts.
Sure. But that's I've always done that.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think that would be my only thing, but I do.
Garrett Gerthy literally throws the putter vertically. I do not do that.
We can pull up some game film right here.
Yeah, there is absolutely no way. Although maybe it is it's definitely more hyzer on like my straddle putts, but that's just because I can get more like pop on the disc.
Well, and I think
that's why I chained out at or hit the pole at
that was brutal.
Yeah, it was on hyzer though, just went right through it.
Yeah, but no, I think it could be again kind of like my being blind to certain aspects because like. There are people, this is like one of like a great example here. People that come in and use the tech disc will throw and it'll be on like 10 degrees, 12 degrees of hyzer, which is quite a bit for those that don't look at metrics as much as I do really because I'm I've put up thousands of throws on the tech disc. That's a good bit of hyzer, especially for if you're throwing like a pretty stable disc. But they're like, I'm like, I just try to, release a little flatter and see what happens. And they're like, okay, I did. And I can see it that they still throw on hyzer, but it's just one of those things that it feels like you're maybe putting flatter than you think you are. The same way these people think that they're throwing flatter than they think they are. But it's probably still coming out on a good bit of hyzer.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm definitely not the expert to tell you what to do. So that is it. Again, comment, best part, worst part, be vulnerable, be real. If your best part of the game is that you throw 600 feet, you're probably lying. There's definitely a few out there, but I think that's it. You want to close this out here?
Yeah. Appreciate you guys a lot. We're just over 1.5 thousand subscribers on YouTube, which is still absolutely bonkers to us.
Yeah, the rapid growth is pretty insane.
Yeah, and we have got some I really wish I could talk to you more about it, but I'm not even kidding you guys. Like this next week, 2 weeks in particular, Cameron's got some stuff.
I got some bangers.
I will be involved in. I will be there, but Cameron's got some stuff coming down the pipeline that could be literally earth shattering.
We're rewriting history with these videos here.
Literally. What the one in particular that I'm thinking of, history will be potentially
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know which one you're talking about.
We'll talk about it off air. But please, if you are not subscribed and you are seeing this, please subscribe. We absolutely love the journey that this channel has taken us on, the way that this business has grown from something that we knew we loved into something that now, hopefully in the future could be our career. And so we just love getting to do this with you guys, and it starts with y'all. So if you're not subscribed, please follow along on this journey with us.
I think it'll be right here, maybe.
Right over there. Appreciate you guys very much. This has been All Things Considered, and we will see you guys next week.